All right, so we managed to get to the end of the first season of Superman and Lois with the Valley of Death, where we saw Superman being tormented by Morgan Edge and being in order to force him to turn evil and join him in his conquest of the Earth to fulfill the ghost of his sick father's weird dreams. Whatever it was. I've enjoyed Superman and Lois. There's a lot of great things about it. Just basically the story idea of Morgan Edge being, Kryptonian and all that. I'm not crazy about that. And it's sad because almost the elements were there that they probably could have used a lot better. Because they're breaking down Superman and eradicating his mind to replace him with the mind of General Zod. So that's who they were trying to turn him into. And so on John Irons' world, that's apparently what happened, and Superman became Zod. The plot still could have worked, but I think it would have been better if Morgan Edge had been taken over by Zod, instead of making up all this story about he's Superman's brother, that Superman's mother had a previous marriage to this nasty slob, and that sort of thing. And just forgot to mention she had another son that apparently she just abandoned. So it's a problem. I don't like it. But they went too far with it. I think at this point they could come in and say, oh, it was all a lie. And yeah, Morgan Edge thinks he's this guy, but he's not. He's been brainwashed like all the other people who got possessed by, Kryptonian spirits or digital Kryptonian spirits, which is not really them. They're all actually dead. Don't know how you transfer the powers like that, but they do. But anyway, so Lois put in a call for John Henry Irons to come in and says, I'm scared. I think it's turning out the way you thought. And so he's ready to suit up in his steel outfit and go kill Superman. So there's Lois is like, oh, wait, don't kill him. And so her father comes in, well, I don't want to, Lois, but I think we're going to have to. And he's setting him up with a weapon that is filled with red solar radiation, so it should be able to kill him. And all that stuff. And then Jonathan approaches him and begs him not to kill him and all that stuff. And so it's breaking down John Henry Irons' emotions. Lois reveals to him that she's married to him and that her Clark Kent is Superman. So he's like, Clark Kent is Superman? Something about those glasses, I don't know. And that's what they do. The rest of it, they deal with Lana Lang and her family, and they're now being ostracized by Smallville and being blamed for what happened unfairly, of course, because they'd saying, oh, it was all her husband's, Kyle's husband, that to have Morgan Edge come in and provide jobs and whatnot for the stagnant economy of Smallville. Well, he wasn't alone in that. Everybody was for it. The only one against it was Lois Lane. So now all of a sudden, it was all you and this sort of thing. So I guess that'll be a narrative they'll follow a little further down the road there. But ultimately, of course, spoiler, Superman triumphs in the end, but not without help from John Henry Irons. So he comes to confront him. And at the last minute, with Lois begging and all this stuff, he decides to give Superman a shot. And Superman does ultimately, thinking about his wife and kids and all that, and he overcomes the possession by Zod. And they're not before they have a big fight, of course. They do all that, and then they decide, okay, I'm going to need John's help to go take out Edge, and so that's just what they do. And his only option is to use that red solar weapon against Edge. So they go, back at Edge's Fortress of Solitude. He realizes they can't. Superman's not going to become Zod, and he's coming for him. So the ghost of his father tells him, "Well, you got to do my other plan, or whatever that is. We don't know what it is." He takes the Eradicator thing and flies into space. They chase him, and right before Steel, John Henry Irons, shoots the missile at him, he zaps the Eradicator with his heat vision, and it explodes. And so he's doing something there to set up some later plot for the next season. So I don't know if this would mean that the actual Eradicator storyline would happen, where he becomes sort of another Superman, like it was for the death of Superman and his return and all that. Maybe that's what it'll be. But anyway, that's pretty much how it ends. The red solar missile hits him. He falls to Earth. He doesn't die, and he seems to be all right physically, but I'm guessing that it took out his powers, and they were able to lock him up, and now he's in a kryptonite cell, grinning because he knows something is afoot. So there you go. John Henry Irons and Superman, shake hands, and we're all bros now. And he says, "Yeah, I'll be around." And he flies away in his Iron Man suit with his big hammer. And then Lois and the kids and Superman have their family moment, and all is well. But of course, the sinister plot that Edge has in store remains. So there we go. They wrap it up well. They weave in their other stories very well too. So it's not so much like, I got to deal with this crap, to take me away from the action. No, they do it pretty good, and it all fits and works out. So, but for the Morgan Edge idea, I don't mind the Morgan Edge being involved in the story and everything, but he's so far removed from Morgan Edge now. Him being a Kryptonian and all that. I don't know why they did it like that, when they could have had it where Morgan Edge stuck his nose where he shouldn't have and got possessed by Zod or someone like that. Or it could have been one of the other Kryptonians. There's what's his name, Kexel and stuff. Super villains like Kryptonian villains like that. Whatever. And that's what it could have been. But and the plot would have worked out pretty much the same way. But well, it didn't. So now you're kind of stuck with this kind of stupid storyline of Morgan Edge actually being the first Superman, because he arrives on Earth in much the same way that Kal-El did. It wasn't as pleasant for him and all that. So, I'm not too fond of that. But overall, the rest of it is pretty good. It's easily the best superhero TV show on air right now, despite what D Plus tried to offer. It blows that away. Just in the basics of storytelling, you actually have a heroic character. You have a family that works well. They have their frustrations and problems, but nobody is made the total bad or butt end of the joke and what have you, just because of their skin and genitals. So it's a very good show. Nothing's perfect, but it's right now the best thing going. So it got through a full season. I expected it to go woke at some point. It never really did. There's other things that bother me, but not that. And that's in the current era, that's an amazing achievement in of itself. So there we go. Looking forward to season 2 of Superman and Lois. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.